everyone. Welcome to Elevate with C&M Coaching. My name's Maggie, and thanks so much for joining us today. I have a really exciting topic that I want to talk about, and that is responding to your internet leads. Earlier today, I recorded a podcast that'll be coming out in a few weeks with a gentleman named Simon Meadows, who is based in the UK. And it was really interesting to me because he is a business coach, and so he trains all different types of people. And one of the things I said to him is that you want to have your response time occurring within 15 minutes of receiving the inquiry from your customer. And he said to me, what I find very interesting about that is people often think in terms of days and weeks and not minutes. And so that kind of got me thinking, this would be a perfect topic for us to talk about because this is something that we have a lot of experience in. One of the things that we specialize in here at C&M Coaching is mystery shopping. So we will go to a website for a business. We will submit a lead posing as a local customer, and then we will really start that clock and then start to gauge the quality of the response time, the quality of the content of the response, whether that be via text, via email, via phone. We're going to look at all of that quality, but one of the things that we're heavily gauging is how quickly that response happens. So I thought it would be awesome for us to talk about this today because it's a really big issue among dealerships specifically. Over the course of the last few years, we have worked really hard to do a lot of mystery shops, and in a recent round of nearly 100 mystery shops that we completed here at C&M Coaching on independent dealers, we found that a whopping 43% of stores did not call their internet leads within 5 days. I'm going to repeat that again because the statistic is so absurd. 100 mystery shops, 43% of them did not call within 5 business days. And remember, we're posing as a customer. That's nearly a full week that went by and no one contacted us. And that doesn't mean that after those 5 days were up, they contacted us, because that's not the case. It was 43% of stores did not call their lead at all, period. We only monitored them for 5 days. But we did go back day 8, day 9 and check, and the lines were still empty. No phone calls. So the one thing that you have to consider is that the number of stores that a customer is visiting has greatly decreased. In 2019, there was a study done by Auto Trader which claimed that customers are only visiting 2.2 dealerships, when it used to be almost 3 dealerships that customers were going to try to figure out where they wanted to buy their next car from. And that's pre-pandemic, where people still wanted to actually go into businesses. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that since potential customers are spending the majority of their time on the internet, it's safe to assume that they are submitting leads to multiple stores. So obviously contacting that customer ASAP is going to be key for you. So here's a couple of tips that you can do, because sometimes the way that stores distribute their internet leads can be a little bit unique as well. Sometimes the manager really likes to stay on, the heartbeat of the lead and likes to distribute the leads themselves. And I'm not opposed to that. The problem is it creates a delay in the process. And the last thing that you need is any more hurdles in the way for your salespeople trying to reach out to customers. That's why automated systems exist. And one of the easiest things that you can do is set up an automated round robin, so that the lead is just going to the staff that's in store that day. Everyone who's working gets an opportunity to handle a lead. We rotate through the team. And that's really the fairest way to do it. It's also the easiest way for you to monitor lead response time and see which of your staff members is responding as quickly as possible, but then also gives everyone a fair shake at handling the leads themselves, right? And gives them all equal opportunity. So the moral of the story here is that if we're looking for ways to increase revenue and get more people in the door, you can probably find that money hiding in your internet leads. And there's a few things that you're going to want to put into place to make sure that we're responding to these leads in a timely manner. Now, our last podcast, we talked about calling versus texting customers, and some of that is going to melt into this podcast because they do go hand in hand. When you have an internet lead, you're receiving a request from the customer. This is your lowest hanging fruit. This person went on your website. They took the opportunity to fill out a request form They gave you all of the information to contact them. And now it's up to us to do that, right? So the first thing that you should do when you receive an internet lead is immediately look over the lead. Have they been here before? Did they purchase something from me? If so, what was it? Have they submitted previous requests? If so, what were they for? Then take a look at the lead itself. What were they looking at? What are they interested in? Do I have it? What information do I have available right now in case they start giving me a pop quiz about this item on the phone? And what do I have that might be similar if something falls through with this first option? Because that's always something that can happen. In regards to vehicles, 86% of customers purchase something other than what they've initially inquired on, which is a lot of people. So it's super important to always have a backup plan. We call it a plan B. Make sure you have something else to offer the customer, because just because something might go wrong with that specific vehicle, it doesn't change the customer's need that they're still looking to buy a car. They're just going to buy it from somebody else. So you always want to be that somebody else. You want to be their first option and their second option. So look over the lead, get as much details together as you can about the actual person themselves, the requests, etc. Do I have the product? What do I have that might be similar? And then you want to pick up the phone and call that person. The best thing that you can do is call that customer within 15 minutes. And people usually look at me like I'm crazy, which actually is what happened today when I was recording that other podcast. It was like, wow, 15 minutes. Why 15 minutes? How short is your attention span? How often are you in the middle of working and you're like, ugh, I just need a break. And the next thing you know, you've been on Facebook for a half hour. How easy is it for you to put in a request for information on something and then walk away and forget that you did it and then never go back to it? Or how easy is it to put in a request for something and become impatient that they're not reaching out to you, that you don't feel valued as a customer? So what do? You go to another website and you look at something else. People don't like to wait too long for information. The quicker you call, the better chance you have at actually reaching that customer. And we know that that first impression is going to be built within those first 5 seconds of that conversation. So you really want to make that call count. But pick up the phone and call them. If they don't answer, shoot them a text and then send them an email. But you've got 15 minutes while they're still thinking about you. Remember that after those first 15 minutes, and really with every 15 to 30 minutes thereafter, more emotion and feelings are going to set into your customer, which in the long run also means that your customer may start to make decisions based on emotion instead of logic. So if someone needs to buy a vehicle, they're logically thinking, I need to contact this dealership right now. Hopefully they can get me approved. And then 2 days goes by. During those 2 days, your customer has had plenty of opportunity to rethink their decision. Maybe they decide they want to take that $2,000 they had for a down payment and go buy a $2,000 cash car. So they don't have the payment. But now they're not going to get a warranty. Now they're not going to be able to hopefully build their credit by making on-time payments. So there's many things that you have to offer that customer, but you have to pick up the phone and call them so you can get that information across to them. So I'm telling you, if you guys want to make more money, dig through your internet leads, call them quickly, respond to them professionally, promptly, and just pick up the phone. 43% out of 100 shops, 43% didn't call for 5 days or thereafter. If I left those lines open, they probably still wouldn't have phone calls on them. We can do better than that. Call those internet leads. I'll be back on Friday with a call of the week. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great day.